Greetings, everybody. I am Jasir Franklin of Hill PTHD Podcast, and I'm here today with a brother of mine I've known probably for over 30 years now, right? Roughly.
Yeah, it's
something
been
like
a minute.
that. It's been a minute, like 91, 32 years,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Long time. Here with a brother of mine. His name is D Dolphin. We go back, and I brought him on this podcast today because I know a lot of his story, and I really know his story will resonate with a lot of people in this podcast and listen to what we got to say here at Hill PTHD. And I wanted to get him in here to share his story, at least bits and pieces of it, so we can see what this thing looks like on the other side once we change our mind. This is one of the strongest minded people I've ever known in my life. I got stories, I can tell you stories, but I won't do that today. But I know that his mind is so strong. I've watched him grow from where he grew up at to where he has become now. I'll let him tell what he wants to tell about where his life is now. But at the end of the day, I know where he began. I know a lot about where I don't know a whole thing, but I know a lot about where he began. And his story is phenomenal. So we're going to have this conversation about a hood refugee today. And let me break down what a hood refugee is, just to lay the groundwork here. And that is, a hood refugee is a person who lived in the hood at any point in time, particularly in their adolescence, and eventually may have left the hood, went to new zip codes, had a new life, even got a wife, the cat, the dog, the picket fence, the penthouse suite, the new business, the everything is popping great in their life. But at the end of the day, they took some of that hood with them, be it good or be it bad. The thing is, how do you get the thorns of the negative aspects of the hood experiences out? Or do we drown them out in something else? We want to talk a little bit about that today. So again, y'all, welcome. Help me welcome my brother, D Dolphin. Thank you for joining me, brother, today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy, but I appreciate your time, man. The love.
Man, I'll do anything for you, man.
I know you grew up in LA, but let them know. I want to know what part of LA, what hood are you actually claiming in LA that you actually grew up here?
Well, I grew up on Crenshaw and Slauson. I grew up in 60 Hood. So that's where I was, South Central.
From what ages to what ages?
I was there from the age of 5 all the way to the age to 7th grade, so to 14. And then my mother got an opportunity to move us from the hood to Santa Monica, which actually helped me change my life and introduce me to sports. And that's how me and you know each other. Um, she got low rent housing in Santa Monica because of the job that she had. And we were able to move from a 1-bedroom apartment that had 5 people in it to a 3-bedroom apartment that now had 5 people in it. So it was definitely a blessing to move because we just had more room. You know what I mean? It gave me time to think. And it's so funny that you're talking about hood references and things that you learn from the hood and things how it's involved in your life. The one thing that happened to me when I moved from Santa Monica from South Central to Santa Monica, it was this thing that I stopped looking over my shoulder. Because when you're in the hood, when you walking down the street, you're not just walking down the street, you keeping your eye on everything around you. And it was the first time in my life that when I walked down the street, I was just walking down the street.
Mm.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It gave me a little freedom. That was the one thing that I noticed was the difference from living where I lived, which was pretty much a war zone, and then to moving into a more calmer situation. And that was one of the things that I really, really noticed when I made that transition. Now, everything ain't bad in the hood, and there's a lot of life lessons there that helped me be successful in business. But that was one of the things that I really noticed when I moved to Santa Monica.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of good things in there. There's a lot of bad things in there, but if you take some out of it, it's all lessons at the end of the day. Once you grow up and you strain it through you sifted through life and you figure out, oh, that was just my lesson. I had to learn from that to move to this next phase. It's nothing, never a bad thing, but unless you don't deal with it properly, unless you internalize it and make it an emotion, and that emotion grows into some crazy stuff. I want to ask you this though. I know you said 5 people in the house, so that was you, that was your mother and your siblings.
Yeah, I had 2 sisters and 1 brother.
All right. Where was Pops at?
My father at the time was on drugs.
I never knew that. I don't think. Okay.
Yeah, my father was on crack.
Really?
Absolutely.
I never knew that, bro. How did that affect you though?
Well, you already know I was angry, but I never knew I was mad.
Mm.
So that's one thing I will tell you. So I was always angry, always upset, fighting for respect, but I never knew why. And there is an association with not having a dad um, affecting you, because in the beginning of my life, my dad was there. He was there
Mm.
every day, took care of me, taught me how to fight, everything. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't there no more.
And he never came back.
No, he recovered. My father's
Okay.
recovered now. He's perfectly fine now, upstanding citizen. But it it ate up most of my probably from elementary school to high school, ate all that up
Mm.
when he
Damn.
was going through his trials and tribulations and trying to figure out things.
Mm. Damn. Okay. Sorry to hear that, brother. I didn't know that one though. That was the part of the story I didn't know.
Nah, it ain't no big thing. I mean,
Mm.
shoot. You know what that taught me, to be honest? Because my
What?
father's probably one of the smartest people I know. I mean, like intelligent wise, he's the first black person ever to graduate from the math and science department from San Jose State. My father was also part of the track team that, that did this, you know what I mean, in the Olympics.
What? John Carlos and him?
So, yep, my father ran on that track team.
Mm.
My father got a track scholarship. My father had polio as a kid and got a track scholarship. So we was dealing with, as far as I'm concerned, Superman. And when Superman went down, I didn't really know what to do and how to do it, because I wasn't ready for what I would, becoming a man and feeling like I had all the lessons that I needed to do that. I was just kind of thrown into it. But the one thing that watching my father fall, one, I got a chance to see my father get back up, which is amazing. Because a lot of times when we do fall, we don't get back up. So you got to definitely keep fighting in life. But
Yeah.
also, what I realized is that making the wrong turn, dealing with the wrong people, and doing the wrong thing could take you down a path where you could be missing for 10 to 15 years if you're not careful. So it made me more careful. So I don't really drink. I rarely ever drink ever. And drugs, I would never do drugs in my life just because of the experience I see my father go through. So I did learn from his mistake.
So that's why you was always like that. I never knew that. That's why you was like that.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
cool on all that stuff. I was like, I'm good.
That's why. Okay. 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 That makes sense. Okay. So they say we either be like our parents or we be something polar opposite. But it's rarely you meet in the middle. There is no middle ground to that. Either you're gonna be like them or you're gonna be not like what they did. But that's good. You mastered that and you conquered it because he passed you the torch to make you make your choices. He showed you what it looked like, so you made something in your ori. We call it the ori, the mind. Something in your mind said, "No, I'm gonna go a different route." And
Right.
that's why I say you're one of the strongest people mentally that I've ever known.
I
Even though,
appreciate that, man.
yeah,
Life
yeah,
is a fight, though, man. Life is a fight. It's an everyday fight.
yeah.
It really is. And, it ain't for the weak at heart. If you weak out here in these streets, LA, these laws that's going on all around us, they'll rip you apart.
Did you know that 98% of all traffic tickets issued end in conviction? Even if you hire a lawyer. Once convicted, you can end up with points on your driving record. Your insurance rates are going to shoot through the roof. Oh, and don't forget about the fine. If you don't pay the fine, your license gets suspended. So, are you ready to dodge the charge? Then you must do something different. Get the facts on how to properly contest your traffic ticket. Go to ticketfacts.com right now. Tickets like speeding tickets, suspended license ticket, cell phone tickets, insurance tickets, registration tickets, anything with a ticket, you can beat it. Want to dodge the charge? Then go to ticketfacts.com. That's ticketfacts.com or call 866-932-9008. That's 866-932-9008. We share the facts because we've been where you're at. So click or call now.
Tell me something. Give me one of your greatest memories, one of the things you cherish the most that you took from your hood experience, though.
Probably the best thing that I took from my hood experience is that, well, I don't know if that's a good thing to say. I think what the hood does for you, I think it's two things that the hood can do for you. It can produce a weak person or it can produce a super strong person. And for me, living in the hood, it made a strong person. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared to fight. Nobody. I ain't never been scared to fight. I just be like, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. It is what it is what it is. Win or lose. Win or lose. So I was never, a lot of times you see people, they kind of, it was this thing that my father did when I was a young kid that, like I said, he was with me when I was young. If you lost a fight, my father did not care whether or not you got in trouble, like you got caught fighting at school or whatever. He did not care about that. Only thing he was concerned with, if you won the fight. If you didn't win the fight at my house,
You got to go
had
back.
to go back the next day and fight. And I didn't understand the logic because it was many a times where I had to go back and fight the next day because he would ask me, did you win the fight? I don't care about you being suspended. Did you win the fight? I was like, nah, I don't think I won that one. All right, you got to go back and fight tomorrow. And that's what he was all about. And I didn't really know what that was about, but later in life, I figured it out. Mm-hmm. He didn't want us, his family, his kids, to be walking around scared of anything, nothing. Mm-hmm. He's like, you ain't gonna be walking around scared of another person. He ain't gonna let you be able to deal with that. If you gonna be, he's like, if you ain't going to fight the next day, then you gotta fight me today. And that's what he was all about. So it made me not scared of anything, win or lose. I'll be like, that's what we doing. We gotta do it every day though. And that and it helped me develop this mental attitude about life where I was just like, every day I gotta fight for what I'm trying to fight for.
Even on the days you feel like you lost, huh?
Even the days you lost, you still gotta get back up and fight. So he instilled that behavior in all of us. In all of us. So like I said, the hood makes you a certain way. It either makes you really weak or really, really strong. And most people that come out of the hood, to be honest, they are really strong.
I'm on another level.
I'm a king. I wasn't made to punch clocks. I'm an entrepreneur. Spitting this manure with a queen to raise new generation of rulers. So my drive can never take a dive like scubas. Ed OG told me, be a father to your seed. So I proceed to hustle harder. Bring home the bacon. Be that role model. Not the PlayStation for my seed to follow. My circle of influence handpicked like cotton. Like mine, team players ascending from the bottom. No degrees yet beats. Scholars in their own right. Public enemy number one. Don't